Have you ever wondered why some people stay calm in situations that would make most people lose control? While others react emotionally, make impulsive decisions, or allow anger to take over, Sigma men often remain composed and focused. This isn't because they don't have emotions. It's because they have learned how to control them. One of the most powerful traits of a Sigma male is self-control. In fact, self-control is often the hidden force behind his confidence, discipline, and success. Most people think strength comes from power, money, status, or influence. A Sigma understands that true strength comes from controlling yourself. Anyone can react when they're angry. Anyone can lose their temper when they're frustrated. Anyone can make emotional decisions in difficult moments. But it takes real discipline to stay calm, think clearly, and remain in control when life becomes challenging. This is one of the reasons Sigma men often seem mysterious to others. They don't allow every emotion to control their actions. They don't feel the need to react to every insult, argument, or provocation. Instead, they choose their responses carefully. They understand that every action has consequences and that emotional reactions often create problems that could have been avoided. The dangerous part about self-control is that most people underestimate its power. They assume silence is weakness. They mistake patience for passivity. They think calm people lack confidence. But Sigma men know something different. They know that the person who controls his emotions controls his life. The ability to remain disciplined when others are emotional creates a huge advantage in relationships, business, personal growth, and everyday situations. In today's video, we're going to explore *10 dangerous self-control habits of a Sigma. These habits help Sigma men stay focused, avoid manipulation, make better decisions, and maintain control in situations where most people lose their composure. As we go through these habits, pay close attention. You may recognize some of them in yourself, or you may discover why certain people seem impossible to provoke, pressure, or control. And trust me, the final habit is the one that truly separates Sigma men from everyone else. Before we begin, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications for more Sigma mindset, psychology, and self-improvement content. Now let's get started with *10 dangerous self-control habits of a Sigma. 10. He thinks before he reacts. One of the most dangerous self-control habits of a Sigma male is his ability to think before he reacts. Most people respond to situations emotionally. When they feel insulted, they immediately defend themselves. When they become angry, they say things they later regret. When unexpected problems appear, they panic and make impulsive decisions. A Sigma male does the opposite. He creates space between the event and his reaction. Instead of allowing emotions to take control, he pauses and evaluates the situation carefully. This habit gives him a major advantage in life because many mistakes are made in moments of emotion. Sigma men understand that a few seconds of patience can prevent months of regret. They know that every reaction has consequences, which is why they refuse to act impulsively. This doesn't mean they are slow or indecisive. It means they are intentional. Their actions are guided by logic rather than temporary emotions. People often underestimate the power of this habit. They assume quick reactions show confidence, but a Sigma knows that true confidence comes from control. Anyone can react emotionally. It takes discipline to remain calm and think clearly. That's why Sigma men are often difficult to manipulate. They don't allow others to control their emotions. Instead, they control themselves first, and that self-control becomes one of their greatest strengths. 9. He doesn't let anger control his decisions. A Sigma male understands that anger is one of the most dangerous emotions when it comes to decision-making. Many people make choices while angry and end up regretting them later. They send messages they shouldn't send, say things they can't take back, or make decisions that create even bigger problems. A Sigma avoids this trap. He knows that anger clouds judgment and often pushes people toward actions that don't serve their long-term interests. When a Sigma feels angry, he doesn't pretend the emotion doesn't exist. Instead, he acknowledges it and gives himself time to think. He understands that emotions are temporary, but consequences can last for years. That's why he rarely makes important decisions in moments of frustration. He waits until his mind is clear before acting. This habit makes him appear calm even in situations that would overwhelm others. People often mistake his self-control for a lack of emotion, but that's not true. He simply refuses to allow anger to become his master. By controlling his reactions, he protects his relationships, his reputation, and his future. A Sigma knows that losing control for a few minutes can undo years of hard work. That's why he treats emotional discipline as a strength rather than a weakness. 8. He stays silent when silence is more powerful. One of the most underrated forms of self-control is knowing when to remain silent. Most people feel compelled to respond to every criticism, every insult, and every misunderstanding. A Sigma male understands that not every situation deserves a response. Sometimes silence communicates more strength than words ever could. When someone tries to provoke him, a Sigma doesn't automatically react. He evaluates whether responding will actually improve the situation. If the answer is no, he remains silent. This often frustrates people who are looking for an emotional reaction. They expect anger, defensiveness, or an argument. Instead, they get nothing. Sigma men know that silence can be a powerful tool. It prevents unnecessary conflicts and protects their energy. It also demonstrates confidence. People who constantly need to defend themselves often reveal insecurity. A Sigma doesn't feel that pressure. He understands that he doesn't need to prove himself to everyone. By mastering silence, Sigma men avoid countless pointless arguments and distractions. They focus on what matters and ignore what doesn't. In a world full of noise, their ability to remain quiet becomes a source of power. That's why silence is one of the most dangerous self-control habits a Sigma can develop. 7. He controls his desires and impulses. Most people struggle with impulses. They spend money they shouldn't spend, eat things they shouldn't eat, or chase distractions that provide temporary pleasure but long-term problems. A Sigma male understands that every impulse followed without control weakens discipline. That's why he practices restraint. He doesn't allow every desire to dictate his actions. Instead, he asks himself whether a decision aligns with his long-term goals. If it doesn't, he's willing to say no even when it's difficult. This habit separates Sigma men from many people around them. While others constantly seek comfort and instant gratification, the Sigma focuses on what will benefit him in the future. He understands that success often requires sacrificing short-term pleasure for long-term rewards. Controlling impulses isn't easy. It requires discipline, patience, and self-awareness. But Sigma men know that every time they resist an unhealthy impulse, they strengthen their character. Over time, this creates a level of mental toughness that few people possess. The ability to control desires allows a Sigma to stay focused on what truly matters. Instead of being controlled by temptation, he becomes the one in control. And that self-mastery becomes a major advantage in every area of life. 6. He refuses to seek revenge emotionally. When someone hurts them, many people immediately think about revenge. They want to get even, make the other person suffer, or prove a point. A Sigma male approaches things differently. He understands that emotional revenge often creates more damage than satisfaction. Instead of reacting impulsively, he steps back and evaluates the situation logically. He asks himself whether revenge will actually improve his life or simply keep him emotionally attached to the problem. More often than not, he chooses to move forward. This doesn't mean he forgets betrayal or allows people to walk all over him. It means he understands that the best response is often success, distance, or indifference. He refuses to let someone else's actions control his emotions. Many people remain trapped by anger for years. Sigma men recognize that carrying resentment only drains energy. By refusing to seek emotional revenge, they free themselves from unnecessary burdens and focus on building a better future. Their self-control allows them to choose growth over bitterness. While others become obsessed with getting even, the Sigma quietly moves on and continues improving his life. In many cases, that's the most powerful response of all. 5. He remains calm under pressure. Pressure reveals character. When challenges appear, most people panic, overreact, or lose focus. A Sigma male has trained himself to remain calm. He understands that panic rarely solves problems and often makes them worse. This habit comes from experience and self-control. Instead of focusing on everything that could go wrong, he concentrates on what can be done right now. He breaks problems into smaller pieces and approaches them logically. Remaining calm under pressure gives Sigma men a significant advantage. While others are overwhelmed by emotion, they are able to think clearly and make better decisions. This often makes them appear confident and dependable. People naturally trust those who remain composed during difficult situations. Whether facing financial struggles, personal setbacks, or professional challenges, a Sigma understands that emotional control is essential. His calmness isn't the absence of fear. It's the ability to act effectively despite fear. That distinction is what makes this habit so powerful. By remaining calm under pressure, Sigma men maintain control when others lose it. 4. He doesn't need instant gratification. Modern society encourages instant gratification. People want results immediately. They want success without effort, wealth without patience, and rewards without sacrifice. A Sigma male understands that real success doesn't work that way. He is willing to wait. He understands that meaningful achievements require time, consistency, and discipline. Instead of chasing quick rewards, he focuses on long-term progress. This mindset allows him to stay committed when others give up. While many people quit because results aren't immediate, the Sigma keeps working. He trusts the process and understands that patience is a competitive advantage. Delaying gratification also strengthens self-control. Every time a Sigma chooses long-term success over short-term pleasure, he reinforces his discipline. Over time, this creates habits that lead to lasting growth. Whether it's building a career, improving fitness, or developing skills, Sigma men understand that worthwhile goals require patience. That's why they don't allow temporary desires to distract them from what truly matters. 3. He chooses logic over emotion. A Sigma male understands that emotions are important, but they shouldn't always be in charge. Many people allow feelings to dictate their decisions. Sigma men balance emotion with logic. When faced with a difficult situation, they ask themselves what makes sense rather than simply reacting based on how they feel. This doesn't mean they ignore emotions. It means they refuse to let emotions become the sole decision maker. Logic allows Sigma men to see situations more clearly. It helps them avoid impulsive mistakes and make choices that align with their goals. This habit becomes especially valuable during conflict or stressful situations. People often confuse emotional reactions with strength. A Sigma knows that true strength comes from maintaining clarity when emotions are intense. By choosing logic over emotion, he gains a level of stability that many people struggle to achieve. This habit doesn't make him cold, it makes him effective. It allows him to solve problems, make wise decisions, and stay focused on what truly matters. 2. He protects his energy and attention. Sigmas understand that energy and attention are valuable resources. Every conversation, relationship, and activity requires mental effort. That's why they are careful about where they invest it. They avoid unnecessary drama, toxic people, and distractions that provide little value. Instead of spreading their attention everywhere, they focus it on goals, growth, and meaningful relationships. Protecting energy is a form of self-control because it requires saying no. It requires walking away from situations that don't contribute positively to life. Many people struggle with this because they fear disappointing others. A Sigma understands that protecting his mental and emotional well-being is more important than pleasing everyone. By managing his energy wisely, he maintains focus and productivity. This habit allows him to accomplish more while experiencing less stress. He doesn't allow every demand, opinion, or distraction to consume his attention. He chooses carefully, and that choice creates power. 1. He masters himself before trying to control anything else. The most dangerous self-control habit of a Sigma male is that he focuses on mastering himself before trying to control the world around him. Many people spend their lives trying to change others. They want to control situations, influence people, and force outcomes. A Sigma understands that the only thing he can truly control is himself. He works on his thoughts, emotions, habits, and actions. He develops discipline because he knows that self-mastery is the foundation of all success. Without it, external achievements mean very little. This mindset creates a powerful sense of independence. The Sigma doesn't depend on circumstances to feel confident. He doesn't rely on other people to maintain his peace. His strength comes from within. Mastering yourself requires honesty, patience, and consistent effort. It's not something achieved overnight, but Sigma men understand that this internal work produces external results. In the end, the strongest person isn't necessarily the richest, loudest, or most influential. The strongest person is often the one who has learned to control himself, and that's why self-mastery sits at the top of this list. It's the habit that makes all the others possible. At the end of the day, self-control is what truly separates Sigma men from the crowd. While most people allow emotions, impulses, and outside influences to control their actions, a Sigma chooses discipline. He understands that real power isn't about controlling other people. It's about controlling yourself. Every habit we've discussed today points to the same lesson. The stronger your self-control, the stronger your life becomes. A Sigma doesn't react to everything. He doesn't allow anger to make decisions for him. He doesn't chase instant gratification, and he doesn't let distractions pull him away from his goals. Instead, he stays focused, protects his energy, and continues moving forward no matter what challenges appear in his path. The truth is, anyone can appear strong when life is easy. But real strength is revealed when you're under pressure, facing temptation, dealing with criticism, or experiencing setbacks. That's where self-control becomes your greatest weapon. The person who masters himself becomes difficult to manipulate, difficult to provoke, and almost impossible to defeat. And that's exactly why self-control is one of the most dangerous qualities a Sigma male can develop. Now, I want to ask you something. Which of these 10 self-control habits do you think is the most powerful? Is it 10. Thinking before reacting, 5. Remaining calm under pressure, or 1. Mastering yourself before trying to control anything else? Let me know your answer in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more Sigma mindset, psychology, self-improvement, and personal growth content. Remember, a Sigma's greatest victory isn't over other people, it's over himself.